Is owning or renting the right decision for you? Last week we talked about the advantages and disadvantages of owning, and today we're going to dive into the pros and cons of renting to see if that might be the right option for you. So why don't we dive right into it? As usual, let's start with the pros. What would you say is the biggest advantage of renting?
For me, personally, I'd have to say mobility. When you have an apartment or you're on a lease somewhere, typically it's a shorter, 1 year or 6 month, maybe even a 2 year lease. But at the end of that, you're able to leave. You also have the ability to break that lease for a small penalty. Usually it's 1 month or 2 months, sometimes as much as 3 months. But compared to the cost of selling a house, especially if you've only been in that house a couple of years, you could be looking at not the difference of thousands, but sometimes tens of thousands of dollars difference in making that move. So if you need to move for work or you just want to figure out where you want to live in the country and you're moving around a lot, it's a lot more affordable.
Yeah, and kind of tied in with that is short-term affordability, stressing short-term.
Stressing short-term, yeah. So when you move into a town and you want to purchase a house or rent the exact same space as an apartment, it's going to be cheaper to rent than it is to own. So if you're looking for 1,500 square feet, 2-bedroom, you could be looking at a difference of $300 or $400 a month, sometimes a little bit more, but it's going to be a lot more affordable, at least in the short term, to rent over owning. That will change as time goes on.
Yeah, and for example, that's what I did. I used to live in San Francisco. I went to grad school there. When I finished grad school, I had no money. So I decided to rent a closet-sized room in an apartment with 2 other people. And it literally was a closet that was converted into a room.
Bed touched all 4 walls?
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
I was paying maybe $400, $500 a month. And I was able to save a lot of money over that time that I later used for the down payment on our current home. So renting definitely has its advantage when it comes to that. You can save quite a bit of money over time for your home if that is your long-term goal.
And that kind of ties into number 3. If you want to live in the city, it's going to be cheaper to rent than to own. Just the cost of getting into a city can be extraordinarily high.
Yeah, so if you want to, or if you need to be close to work, a lot of companies have offices in the city. So if you need to be close to work, you don't want to commute, renting can be a pretty good option. Also, if you want to be, closer to entertainment and everything that the city has to offer.
Restaurants, museums,
whatever it might
sports.
be. That's also a good way to get to live in the city if you don't own. What would you say is another big advantage of renting?
Lack of maintenance. When you own a home, you have a lot of maintenance you have to take care of. The renter, something's broken, something's not working right, or something has aged out. You call the landlord, dishwasher's not working. You don't even have to find the plumber. The landlord's setting it up. So it doesn't cost you to get it fixed, and you don't have to deal with getting it fixed. The landlord is responsible for it.
Yeah, and one thing that kind of ties in with that is amenities.
Oh, yeah.
If you live in a more exclusive apartment complex, you might have access to a pool, tennis courts, whatever it may be, gyms, and you don't need to pay for that upkeep. When you have those things in your home, part of your property, like a pool or tennis courts, you're responsible for that maintenance, and it can definitely add up.
Yeah.
So it's not all ponies
Roses,
and butterflies.
Unicorns and rainbows.
There are definitely disadvantages of renting.
Yeah.
What would you say is the biggest disadvantage?
Your rent is not fixed. You purchase a home, get a 20-year, 30-year mortgage, that cost is essentially fixed, as we mentioned before, for the life of the loan. Your rent could go up every single year. Your lease expires after 12 months, your landlord says, hey, cost of living went up, we're going up $50 a month, or we're going up $100 a month. Most complexes, you can pretty much guarantee your rent's going to go up.
Yeah, so, we mentioned before that it's a good idea to use your time when you rent to save money for a down payment on a home if that is your long-term goal. But, don't just keep in mind that after a few years, that rent is going to keep going up, and that is long-term going to limit your ability to save for that down payment. Yeah. So you don't want to stay in a rental too long if owning a property is your end goal.
And then there's limitations of use. You've got 3 dogs. You can't have the apartment. You want to have a dog, a cat, and a bird and a snake. They might not let you in it just because of the pets. Or you want to work from home and you're a gym instructor, whatever it is. Could be a noise issue, could be a time of evening that you need clients to come in. You're going to have limitations like that on an apartment.
Or you don't like your 1950s bathroom that you want to renovate.
Yeah.
You might not get permission from the landlord to do that in the first place, and if you do get permission, that's, money out of your pocket that you won't be able to take with you.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you might be able to do the renovation and enjoy the bathroom, but you just increased the value of your landlord's apartment, not the home you live in.
and the landlord is probably going to increase your rent.
Just because you fixed the bathroom. Yep.
Because you've added value to the apartment. So I think that pretty much covers all of the pros and cons that we were going to talk about. Join us
next week for an undetermined topic. I think she knows what we're talking about, but she hasn't told me yet.
I do know what we're talking about.
Well,
but
don't tell me yet.
I'm going to keep it a secret. So we'll talk to you next week, and we'll keep you in suspense for now.
All right. Have a great week, everyone.
Bye, everyone.